Oh, hey, it's me again. I got coffee, boy. All right, here we go. So, Louis the 14th, absolute monarch. During his reign, he wants to do all the foreign wars, all of them. And the nobles and clergy want some power, and he is afraid, he is kind of timid that if he doesn't give them power, they won't allow him to do these foreign wars. So he gives them power, which results in a weakened monarchy. Uh, Now, he ends up dying like everyone else, and they form a new estate system where each estate gets one vote, one vote. And the first estate's the clergy, the second estate's the nobility, and the third estate is everyone else. Now, to put this in real layman's terms, only 3% of the population, the nobility and the clergy, decide what to do in France. Now, the regular people want to sit at the table with power. And they are seeing that the Estates General is hindering that. They're blocking that. So, can I? And I guess I can't get rid of this bottom part, but it's okay. Nope, that's not working. Yes, 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 yes. All right, my fave, bread. Can I make it smaller? I don't know. All right, here we go. Bread. Yummy, yummy in the tummy. There's a bread shortage. Back-to-back years, the grain crops in France failed, which meant that bread is valuable due to supply and demand. The demand is still high, but now the supply is low, which thus, according to Adam Smith of Wealth of Nations in 1776, causes a price increase. Now, it increased a lot, and it increased quickly, especially in 1789. It went from, I think their currency was South, and it was 2 Souths to 4 Souths to 8 Souths to 11 Souths, all within months. And if that means nothing to you, just know that the average daily wage that a regular French person was making, 88% of that would go towards food for your family. Now, I know you all don't, like, you just have, like, work at Walmart or whatever. But imagine 88% of your paycheck just going to food. That means 12% is everything else. And that's not feasible. So people started starving because you have to spend money in other avenues. And that's not good. And so the average worker was spending over half, 88%. I don't know why I spent half their wages. It's over 80. So all mayhem is going. It's getting crazy. So because of the economic crisis and the increase in taxes, because of the instability of the Estates General, and because of food, bread, more importantly, running out, revolution starts. Now, the Estates General, once again, it's made up of 3: the clergy, the nobility, and then everyone else. All right. When the Estates General met with Louis XVI, and Louis XVI's like, I'm going to increase taxes. First and second estates were like, yeah, well, we're not getting taxed, so we're fine. And the third estate's like, nah. So the third estate finally stood up for themselves. They've decided to do exactly what this GIF did, and they just left. They said, you know what? Screw you. We're going to create our own thing. And their own thing is really important. It's called the National Assembly. All right, so the National Assembly was formed and that is with 97% of the French population. All right. So the National Assembly forms. Now, they get cold feet because it's tough. It's tough to stand up for yourself, and it's tough to do something against the grain. And so they had cold feet at first. So they broke off. They were all upset. They stormed the assembly, but then they actually want to come back. And so I spent way too much time making this meme, but it's okay. We won't get there. So they want the whole point of the National Assembly is to give the people more voice, to give them more power. And what's the first thing to address? It's what Louis the 16th just addressed, which is taxation. So the newly formed National Assembly only at first only wanted to grant themselves power of taxation. Now they once again get cold feet. They asked to come back, and the nobility and clergy were like, "Nah, you missed your chance, bro. Get out of here." And so the National Assembly said, "Fine, we will. Where are we going to go?" And the most logical thing, a tennis court. And that's what they do. Yeah. So, once again, States General is three things. The third one is 97%. It's the people. They break off and they form the National Assembly. They just want power for the people, and the first order of business is power over taxation. They get cold feet, they get denied, and then they decide to meet, out of all places, a tennis court. All right. So they go to the tennis court. Oh, there it is. It's right there. Why? I don't know. How do I get this ribbon down? I don't know. Oh, I did it. Oh, I don't know. Okay. So the National Assembly, who's roughly 600 delegates, by the way, they go by to this tennis court across the street, and they decide, all 600 people. How do I get rid of this thing? It's driving me nuts. I don't know. All right. They decide to sign an oath, and it's called the tennis court oath because it was signed at the tennis court. And it was a promise, to them and to the country of France that they're going to do their due diligence. They're going to try their darndest, and they're going to make a draft and finish it of a constitution that's best for the people of France. Not for the monarch, not for the rich people, not for just the poor people, for everyone. All right. So they signed this oath called the tennis court oath, and it's to make sure they finish a constitution. Now, who's the monarch at the time? It's Louis the 16th. It's this little sly guy. When they do this, they force him, that the new established National Assembly, they force the king to accept this, or else a revolution will happen. Begrudgingly, he does. However, he has a little trick under his sleeve, and he decides to have a secret plot to destroy them all, to kill them all, to blow up the tennis courts. And cat got out of the bag, and that did not make people happy. All right. All right. Now, the first real uprising. This thing, can I make it? I don't know. I really don't want to restart. All right, there we go. here we go. So, King's Plot was discovered, and the rebel group, the Sans-Culottes, that's a silent in French, I should know this. Sans-Culottes found out, and they were a rebel group, and once they found out, they wanted retaliation. And so they did what's called is the most famous storming of the Bastille. And a Bastille is just a prison, and it's the first real uprising. It's the first real time that the people are rebelling loudly against the government, and they're using action this time. It's not just cries, it's not just words, it's not just pamphlets. It's the first real action that happens. And it's the storming of the Bastille. Now they got the government's attention. And now they have a small seat at the table. And they are not going to let go. All right. Of course, it's right there. Okay. Now, once the storming of the Bastille happens, two phases. There's a liberal phase, like, hey guys, let's try to work this out. And then there's a crazy phase, a radical phase. And that's what we all know, like blood and guts and terror and all that stuff. So the first phase is the liberal phase. All right. Hey, let's try to work this out. So because of the tennis court oath, they finally sit down and they finish the Constitution. And my clicker is not working, of course. Come on. All right. So they make some power moves. And the 3 power moves you need to know. They make a constitution, finally. They decide to nationalize the church, the Catholic Church, because France is a Catholic state. And their power moves include women. All right. Here we go. So the declaration that they draft and create is still there today. It's the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen, and it provides a lot of things. Very similar to our Declaration of Independence. I botched up this order. I don't know if I have time. Okay, I got 2 minutes left in this part. I can spend 20 minutes, 20 seconds talking about coffee. I go downstairs. I got a free coffee voucher. I'm like, heck yeah. And then she's like, hi, what can I get you? And I like froze. I was like, coffee. And so she just gave me black coffee. I was like, whatever. But I found some creamer, so we're all good. Anywho, Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizen. Very similar to our declaration. It provides free speech for all, a representative government. However, they kind of were fans of the constitutional monarchy format of Britain, where there's the parliament and then there's the monarch, and they kind of balance, similar to the English civil rights or English Bill of Rights. And then they wanted to abolish the hereditary privileges. They were tired of the nobility and the clergy members just passing their power to their family members instead of letting people move up the ladder. And so those were the 3 big things from the Declaration of Man. It was very important for the French people and their cause. And I think that's where we're going to stop. So after this, after these 3 causes, we will get into the radical phase. I think that's fair. 15, 15, 15, 45, that's typically a class period. Bet. All right. Let's see. Watch, my clicker will work this time. Of course. All right, I will start part 3 on this slide, on the next slide. All right, peace.